Okay, our next group, we have those of you who are on Discord know these two people. You've probably never seen them before. This is your chance to see them coming out of the woodwork here to show themselves publicly. We have Stack here, and we have Drifters. Stack came all the way from Newfoundland. It's a 4.5 hour time zone difference. It's a long way. And I remember when I graduated from college, I drove to Newfoundland from Colorado. It's the same distance from Colorado as Alaska is. It's a long way out there. So thank you for coming. Brought his wife and his young son, 10-month-old, and he's already getting a Flash account. So we're starting him out right. And we've got Drifters, Aaron, who's here. And what I'll do is I'll hand over the mic and I'll just let you guys take it.
Okay. Thanks, Chris. So, as Chris said, I'm Sean Stack, otherwise known as Stack in the various social media places where you try to avoid my band hammer. Aaron and I had a fight over this. I lost, so I'll go first. I'd like to start with an announcement that I'm pretty excited about. And that announcement is that Flash is going to be listed on a new exchange that is up and coming in Australia. They are in beta mode right now for testing and things, and they hope to launch in August or September for live trading. So the name of the exchange is Blockbit, and it's a really exciting exchange in my view because they're going about things in a really methodical manner. The deposits on that exchange are going to be insured. They have partnered with LexisNexis for anti-money laundering purposes. They're going to launch with 4 fiat on-ramps and aim to have 7 or more in the first year. They have ultra-low trading fees and super fast trading as well. It just sounds like it's going to be a really good exchange. The added exciting feature for Flash being listed on that exchange, and I have to thank community member Gabriel and of course Chris for helping put this together, and that's that Flash will be available as a pairing coin on that exchange for any coins that go and be listed there. So that's super exciting because to me that unlocks one of the potential use cases for Flash, which is what you see Litecoin being used for now sometimes, which is to move between exchanges. So you want to get your funds from Blockbit to Quadriga CX in Canada, or Einstein or Binance or whatever the case may be, buy Flash, move it quickly. It'll get there in seconds. So to me, I think that's really exciting.
So this is kind of interesting because what is it? It's been 6 months, I think, since I joined. Shout out to Samsung, by the way, Samsung.
Hey.
But yeah, you no, yeah. You guys have been around for with the project far longer than I have. I think it was last summer, right? It's when you guys.
Samsung was well before me. I got involved in December.
Okay.
During the Slack days, when it was really on Slack, it was Chris, James, Enos, Coda's Law, Samsung, maybe Ozcan, but he wasn't going by Ozcan in those days, and maybe 1 or 2 others. It was a small group, great people, and that's what helped catch my eye for Flash and how I got involved.
Right. So I think the interesting story that we've kind of had over the time as Flash has developed. I mean, you've heard the stories that Flash kind of came into his existence in 2016, and now it's kind of at this point now where it's really an inflection point. It's the next big step is about to explode, really. And so I got involved, started looking at Flash in November, December. Started actively working with the team on January of this year. And really, when we talk about cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, It really is about the people. It's about the technology that brings everybody together. I mean, you just heard the use case in the barter industry. I mean, that's incredible. I had no idea actually that was even happening. And I'm sure there's probably even hundreds of other use cases that Flash is potentially being used for that we don't even know about, which is amazing. So my role, kind of coming in and working within the community, was to try and bring some structure to the project, and kind of outline some goals and objectives for the various different happenings within the project. And the way that happened, obviously, was the community. And it's not even really about us, really. It's about the people who we work with every day. So Samsung, who can't be here, Enike, who's been doing a whole heck of a lot, Michael and Kevin, who've been working on initial marketing plans and strategy, and obviously a whole slew of others that has just been great resources to work with. So obviously for the people on the stream, thank you, really. I mean, it's made our jobs easier, both Discord and Telegram and all the various different people who we've interacted with. You've really come together and done great work, really, at the end of the day, of promoting Flash, of getting Flash out there, being passionate really about the project, which is, again, sky's the limit in terms of where it's going to go. So day-to-day operations, I kind of take on the role of making sure all the teams are talking to each other. One of the things that has been at the forefront of everyone's mind has been marketing. And we've heard everyone, we've listened, and we've got more on that coming up here this afternoon. And it's been amazing to see kind of how the project has transitioned from just 6 months ago, really, of kind of how we were, scrappy in a way, but have really kind of come together. And now we're having a conference, and we're live streaming on the internet. That says volumes about the work that everybody has put into it. So.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think I'm going to rewind a little bit. The reason I wanted to sit up here today was just to express the importance of the community, because Flash is a community coin, and without the community, it's nothing, right? So some people think that I'm an important part of Flash, but I'm a nobody. I bought some Flash in December. I said I found the community on Slack. I looked up the Twitter account and saw that it was for some reason it was a random feed for King World News that was posting random news items every day. So I went on Slack. I said, "What's up with Twitter?" And nobody answered the first time I asked. So I asked again, "What's up with Twitter?" And somebody said, "Oh, well, it shouldn't be like that." I said, "Well, I'll run it because somebody needs to." And that was how I got involved. Since then, my role has expanded. Every time something comes up that needs to be done, I'll say yes. I write press releases, admin on Discord, Reddit, Telegram. There's something else.
I can't list them all.
Manage bounties, pester Chris and James daily for whatever may be going on. But the important thing is that you don't have to have 10 billion Flash to get involved. You just have to want to help. One of the coolest things I saw was somebody just randomly came into Discord one day and said that they had just started the Spanish Twitter account for Flash because they were a community member and they thought that they could help by adding Spanish Twitter. And then there was a Dutch Twitter after that. And that's just the organic growth of the community. And I just want to encourage anybody listening, if you think there's a way that you can help, step up and help. We're happy to have your help. And if we can help you, help us, just reach out. Anybody have any questions? I think Chris said he was going to ask us questions if it came down to it. But.
We're gonna have to give Chris a mic here, so stand by.
Okay, guys, you can share mics. I'm here to ask the hard questions. So so what do you see as the biggest challenges for our community right now? I mean, we've got a certain amount of growth. Things seem to have stalled out. People are saying, the number one question is, when is the price going to go up? And of course, we never talk about price, but I'm going to address it here because that's the question everybody's asking. What do you think has happened here? Why did things kind of stall out, and where do you think it's going to go next? Are we going to come out of crypto winter soon, or what's going to happen?
I think the biggest challenge for Flash right now is there was a general bear market for crypto since mid-January, but there's been a couple of pumps in the general market that Flash hasn't followed, and that demoralized, I think, some of the community. Some of the people who may not be as tied into what's going on behind the scenes and stuff and don't see how much is really happening. So I think communicating, we do our best to communicate what's happening, but I think seeing the marketing that's going to be announced this afternoon, seeing these new exchanges that we're talking about, everybody wants exchanges. These new exchanges, fiat on-ramps, we're going to have fiat on-ramp and Blockbid, we're going to be tied to the Australian dollar at least. There's other options as well. I think getting this momentum back is going to be key for Flash, but not following those pumps, I think, was a downer for a lot of people.
I think the other thing too is the fact that some people forget, or maybe don't forget, the fact that we're working even though the price doesn't reflect it, and I'd say my biggest takeaway is to look at the project back in January versus where I'm sitting right now. We're light years from where we were in terms of the communication, the development, the partnerships, everything else like that. And so
the logo, the branding,
oh yeah,
the website,
like
the tools.
Why don't you talk about the branding infrastructure that's been created? That's amazing.
Right. So, gosh, was that in March?
Shout out to Crypto Viking.
Yes, Crypto Viking. Whoop. Yeah, gosh, that we went through a whole rebranding because that was obvious. Well, one, that was a big ask from you in terms of coming up with something that was going to be globally marketed, and so we needed something that would stick, and really something that had a premium fit and finish for what was fitting a Flash. And so we went through, gosh, that felt like 6 months condensed into 6 weeks.
Felt like a couple of years.
Yeah, that's accurate. And we went through and had voting and figured out, the voting mechanics weren't right, and some other stuff. But then out of that came the new logo, obviously the new website, where it was basically really telling the story of what Flash is, what you can use it for, and generally what we're about in terms of the markets. And so it's been one of those things where the amount of time that we've had developing for the design and all that kind of fun stuff has been just incredible, because it's really kind of I think has told the story of Flash very eloquently, because it has now morphed into this blockchain project, which now is ready to take main stage.
Very good. I think the key concept here is we're talking about crypto years, which is like 6 months in crypto is like 5 years in the regular world. So there's so many changes that happen, and it's just going at light speed. Let's talk about the future in terms of what you see, places where we need to find more community support. what we're missing right now from the Flash community, and where we can go find these people who are going to take us to that next level.
I think the next step for us is really the businesses out there championing Flash, whether it's Vancouver Bitcoin, General Bytes, Coin Payments, our exchange partners, anybody else like that. Those are the real world use cases where we've now hit a point where it's not good enough that we're just partnered with you, or our coin is available and you can buy it and that type of thing. It's now you have to go out and explain the story as to why this is important. And I think a lot of people have been kicking around Flash in terms of its relationship to Litecoin. I honestly think we're going to replace Litecoin, because Litecoin does not have the features that we have coming. And I think that is a big enough deal to where if the people in markets and industries that are using Flash really get to a point where they're using it, spending it, storing it, like we've said all along, then I feel like that next step is going to really push us down the road. So I think it's just encouragement, obviously, for all of our partners, everyone listening, to really go use the product.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would like to say that the community, the more the community engages, the faster and better the project will grow. And I mean engages not only in Discord or on like Reddit. Comment on my posts, upvote them. When it's posted on cryptocurrency, upvote it there, because then other people will see it and then other people will learn. We need to be talking about Flash everywhere, and that's not just online, but that's in our communities. Go to local businesses, figure out who might be amenable initially to accepting crypto, because some people are more open to new things than others. Go talk to them, show them how easy the Flash web wallet and these wonderful new mobile web apps we have are. Show them the merchant tools, show them how easy it is to print a sticker, slap it on the desk, and then scan it with your iOS app or your Android app. It really is dead simple, and the more our community is out there showing people how simple it is, the more attention we're going to get, and the faster this is going to grow.
Amen. And with that, I think that's a great segue to our next speaker. Oh, we got a question from James. Yes? Statement. You want to come up and take the mic? And here, this is Speaker's Corner. You can say whatever you want to on the soapbox here.
Your wife just tapped into my brain. Okay, just to speak on what these guys are talking about, and I don't really necessarily want to take a seat here, but I will. Community involvement. Okay, so anybody who's watching this is probably already a Flash holder, or they're curious, or they're sitting on the fence. And I've had multiple scenarios, and I'm going to pick on a guy that's in the audience right now, Ozcan. He has been badgered by me for a better part of a year now about Flashcoin. And every time we talked about Flash, I kept saying to him, "Oh, have you spent it yet? It's been made as a useful tool to be spent fast, efficient, light, cheap. Have you done it yet?" "Well, I don't know anybody." "Well, have you done it yet?" "Well, I'm kind of trying to find." "Well, have you done it yet?" "Oh, I'm trying, man." And eventually what ended up happening was he ended up paying for a lunch. One of his coworkers who was kind of skeptical, sitting on the sidelines all this time, and he paid for a lunch. And when Flash went on its tear in December, this guy was boasting how he had a $3,000 lunch paid for by Ozcan. Lunch probably cost him $30. So what I'd like to say is the only times that I really chime in on the Discord channel is when it's either, it might seem like I'm trying to correct somebody or just be, like the mean uncle or something like that. But I try to use Flash as often as possible. And if you look at the merchant partners that are on our site right now, I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that 98% of them came from me, and the other one came from Sean. And they've been there for a long time, and I haven't added any more because I want to issue a challenge to everybody out there that it's just as simple as talking to your friend who owns a business. It doesn't have to be that big corporation, and you don't have to have acceptance by multinationals to make Flash a success. If you've got a brother who's got a business, if you've got a neighbor who's got a hobby, if you've got a nephew who's got a website, tell them to add Flash. We've got the merchant tools. Just do it. I personally have paid for a hotel in Costa Rica with Flash. I bought a beautiful Omega Seamaster watch from West Coast Jewelers, which is here in town. They're on our webpage. Ernesto Rossi, one of the finest jewelers in probably Western Canada, he accepts Flash. We're in Vancouver, and with Canadian legalization of pot coming soon, or marijuana they call it, there's a dispensary here that one of our members has noticed that they accept Flash. There's all kinds of situations where if you just open your mouths and tell the people, you don't have to ask them, just tell them, say, I'm going to pay you in Flash. It's a lot like barter. You know, I know that Bill's had a successful career in barter, and what you're just doing is you're saying, look, I'm not willing to pay you. I'm just going to pay you like this. And because this team has done such an incredible job creating this wallet, the Flash Web Wallet is dynamic. The apps for Android and iOS are probably the best in the business. And you can literally download a wallet in seconds. You can send a receive or request in seconds, and you're off to the races. So the most recent case example is one of my business partners, a guy named Jeremy Chu. He owns a company called Clar AV, and they're the ones responsible for doing what we're seeing right now. I've known Jeremy for a very long time, and we've made a lot of money in a lot of businesses, never in crypto. The other day, we're driving along, and he says, geez, James, I got to get paid from Chris and these guys, and how are we going to do this, man? It's like there's such short notice. What am I going to do? What kind of phone do you have? iOS, Apple. Download the app. So he does. I say, okay, great. Now enter who owes you. Well, that's the company kind of, but there is no company. So can I bill Chris? I said, go for it. Chris at flashcoin.io. So he puts it in the space. Who does he send it to? I said, put the amount. He says it. And he says, what do I do now? Press request. Well, the next morning I run into Chris. Chris goes, hey, I just got a request from Jeremy to pay the bill. I said, did you pay it? He goes, yeah. It took about 2 seconds. Jeremy calls me just, what the hell? What? He's used to 30-day, 60-day, 90-day net stuff, and he just got paid in 2 seconds. And for a guy who's got staff back there that need to get paid, he can do that now, thanks to Flash. So the moral of the story is community is great when things are going great, but when they calm down or the coin is where it's at, this is, Chris, pounds into my head. We don't talk about the price of Flash because it's community driven. But I'll tell you this, a year ago, it was less than a half a penny. We're now over a penny and a half in Canadian currency. And so that we're up 300%, which is, if we were a stock like FTI, that would be a great position to be in. So we're in great shape, guys. So when you're talking about all these different exchanges, if you want to help in your community, tell your buddy to, try playing with Cryptopia. Show them how to do Crypto Bridge or Crypto Wolf. And of course, in the new developments in our wallet, we'll be able to do it ourselves. But until that time, just don't post on Discord, gee, what's going to happen if you haven't done something at least today, because shame on you, right? In order for things to change, you got to change. In order for things to get better, you got to get better. So instead of jumping down Aaron's throat here or Drifter's throat, just tell them, hey, these are the 3 things that I've done today. What have you done? That's my thoughts.
Great way to wrap it up. And our next speaker, thanks everybody. I'm really happy you guys made it here. It's a long journey.